The 4 intents. Every coaching tool is for one of these 4 shifts. And naming the intent comes before choosing the tool. Most of us pick the tool first and work out the purpose afterward. We feel a pull towards something familiar, a wheel, a worksheet, an exercise we love. And then we construct a story about why it fits. It's a comfortable habit, and it works just often enough to feel reliable. Mastery reverses that order. Name the shift you're after first, and the right tool becomes obvious. You're not choosing from everything. You're choosing from what serves a specific kind of move. That's what this video is about. The 4 intents that let you name the purpose before you reach for anything. 4 words on screen: awareness, clarity, action, integration. Each one names a different kind of shift a tool can produce for a client. Awareness. The client needs to see something they haven't seen yet. There's a pattern, a dynamic, a blind spot that's invisible to them, and the tool is designed to surface it. Clarity. They can see the landscape, but they can't sort it into a direction. They're not stuck on insight. They're stuck on choosing. Action. They have enough insight. More discovery won't help them. They need to move. And integration, they've already shifted. The realization happened. Now the work is embedding it so it doesn't fade. Here's why naming the intent matters before anything else. Purpose precedes tool. Always. In Module 2, you learn to read the moment, to pick up signals about where the client actually is, what's alive for them, what the arc is asking for. This is the next move. You read the moment, now you name what it needs. That naming is itself a read the moment act. If you're honest about what this moment calls for, awareness, clarity, action, or integration, the tool choice follows with much less friction. If you skip it, you're guessing. And coaches who guess tend to reach for what's familiar rather than what fits. Picture a client who's clearly self-aware but stalled. They can articulate their patterns fluently. They've done the internal work. They know what they think, what they feel, what holds them back. If you name the intent as awareness, you'll reach for a discovery tool and watch the energy drain out of the session because they already see it. The exercise confirms what they know. Nothing moves. Name the intent as action instead, and you reach for a planning tool that meets them where they actually are. The session has momentum. The client leaves different than they arrived. The tool was never the question. The intent was. Same client, same moment, 2 completely different outcomes depending on which word you named first. Here's a second version of this. You feel the urge to do a values exercise. It's a solid tool, you know it well, and something about this moment seems to call for it. Pause before you reach. Ask, what shift am I after? If the intent is clarity, good fit. The client is sorting through competing priorities, and values work gives them a lens. But if what the client actually needs is integration of a decision they've already made, a decision they keep reopening and second-guessing, the values work sends them backward. It pulls the thread on something that was finally settling. Naming the intent catches that before you act, before you undo progress by reaching for the wrong kind of tool. That's the common mistake. Jumping to a familiar tool without naming the shift first. I want you to pause this video for a moment. Take a client you're working with right now or a session you're planning for this week. Think about what you'd want to work toward in that next meeting. Name the shift in one word: awareness, clarity, action, or integration. Notice what happens to the tool question when you do. The field of candidates narrows. The choice gets clearer and faster. That's the value of the intent step, not to slow you down, but to collapse the decision space before you enter it. Take 30 seconds. Come back when you're ready. What you just practiced is move to in the right tool, right mind framework. Name the purpose. The logic is simple and it holds. A tool is an instrument for a specific kind of shift. If you don't know the shift you're after, you can't reliably choose the right instrument. Coaches who skip this step aren't necessarily choosing bad tools. They're often choosing decent tools that simply don't land because the tool served a shift the client didn't need. That's the gap naming the intent closes. 4 words, 1 question, every time before you reach.